Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening in my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. Hello. Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Episode 80?
I think so.
I think we're on episode 80.
Wow.
No, 78.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 78.
Oh, 78.
78.
Close enough.
When did we start this?
In our first episode came out in September.
2020, right?
No.
Yeah, 2020. 2021?
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, September 2021.
So almost a little over 2 years.
Yep, a little over 2 years.
Wow. Well, we've had a lot go on since then.
We have had all kinds of big changes and
Giant changes.
yeah, kids and moving and your book and it's been a lot.
Well, we've had a couple like really, I think not deep talks about backyards and bevvies, but we've had some talks, and I think there's something interesting to be said. Like I was thinking about it coming down. This being the last show, I know it's kind of out of nowhere, but we were chatting about it and we were saying, well, with everything that we have going on, the focus sometimes has to be on something. Like we can't dabble in 40 different things hoping to get success, right? So the only fair thing to do is put right now all of our attention into the book.
Yes.
So that way...
Well, that's the key.
Well,
that's really why we started the podcast.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly why we started. It was for the book because you were told that you were given some advice by someone that is in the publishing world that was like, it would be a really good idea to market it. And over the last few years, you know, I think we had a good run. Like, I don't think any of the shows were like horrible.
No, not at all.
But I think looking back at it, we also held on to the book for a long time because there was a part of me that said I wanted to finish this before I start telling the world about it. And
it wasn't ready yet.
It wasn't ready yet. And I think if we would have just come out and been like, hey, welcome to Backyards and Bevvies, I wrote a book, it wouldn't have, I don't know if it would have had the same, I don't know if I would have had the same drive. I don't know if when the book now comes out, it would have the same impact because people would have waited so long because it took me a long time.
I mean, you've worked on it for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted, because I was so, how do you say, not up to speed with my vocabulary, grammar, and writing. So it took me a long time to find my rhythm and my groove. And once I found it, it was very apparent, like, oh, here it is. I know how to write now. But I know how to write like Philip Chris wants to write.
Yes.
So it was interesting. And so over the last week, we had put out a show last week and I had brought it up to you, or 2 weeks ago, and I brought it up to you this week, like saying, do you think it's time?
And it feels like it's time.
It does. Well, there's like I was on a tour, and it was the Motley Crue tour, and it was called I think it was like the All Good Things End, or
all good things come to an end, or something
like that. I think they wrote a song about it, and it was like supposedly their last tour, and
it's a lie.
they're all lies. Every last tour is a lie. Hey, this is our end. We're hanging it up.
Yeah, so this might be our last episode.
This is the reunion
for now.
For now.
You never know what will happen.
But I think the other part to it is that we chose the name Backyard Bevvies, and it really doesn't have anything to do with Philip J. Chris, the author. And so looking forward into the future, into another podcast potentially, I don't think that it would be titled anything other than Philip J. Chris.
Yeah, probably so.
Because that's the way to market it, right? That would be the smartest way. And so this was a good shot. It was a learning experience. It helped me with like video editing, and it helped me with just being online and showing, like, talking and having a presence and having all the things that will eventually benefit me. But I don't think that the show is being beneficial to, let's say, my career right now as a writer. And I want to focus on giving the readers the best quality listening. So this is only adding into my day where I could put a little extra time into just making sure that my content on my Instagram is a little bit better.
Well, and we also want to make sure that for people who listen to us, that we're giving them
quality stuff,
the best quality stuff as well. And now that we are going to be full speed ahead and in a full court press on the book when it launches in 2 very short months, not even, in like a month and a half from now. We don't want to not give the Backyards and Bevvies listeners the absolute best of us.
Well, and the other side to it too is there's a potential for me traveling a lot now. And so if we're trying to hold on to a certain number of shows, or if we're trying to do a show and I'm out, it just puts us in a bind. And having kids, and you have a job still that takes a lot of your time.
And I'll be gone quite a bit next year.
And so looking into the future, the best thing for all audiences across the board and this is one of the things I was thinking about coming down the stairs to do the show today, was it's not quitting, right? We're ending.
Well,
and I think
it's not quitting. The show has run its course. It's time for it to come to an end.
And I think that's
something else to take its place.
Yeah, and I think that's a different. A lot of people are, I think, sometimes scared when they have to end something. Whether it be a relationship, or whether it be a job, or whether it be anything that comes to an end. It's hard, right? Because you're looking at something going, but what if? But what if?
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be a podcaster.
Right.
So my what if isn't,
like
my what if isn't in podcasting. My what if is in writing and being a dad and being home and all those things. And so to have the show is really cool, and to experience it because we got to engage with so many other people that I might not have engaged with. And it's been fun, but I think it's an end now, as opposed to we're quitting it because we didn't get what we wanted. No. I think I got everything I wanted out of it.
Absolutely.
I got knowledge. I got friendships.
We learned so much. We learned so much about ourselves, about each other, about the other guests that you had on the podcast the first year that we did it, before it ended up being the 2 of us as the main focus. I mean,
the guests were awesome.
Yeah. And it was a really great way for us to get to have time to talk to each other when things have been hectic and we don't have a lot of time to necessarily sit down and have an adult conversation and stuff. So I think it's been a wonderful experience, and it's definitely a bittersweet moment letting it go, but it's time. I also feel comfortable with it.
It's not quitting, it's the end. I think we reached a destination point, which is kind of cool to think about, because the whole show is based around helping find or guide or put us into the trajectory. And, like we always talked about, like God has helped us. Well, for one, he helped us find each other, which we were always, we talk about that a lot, because we both were going through so much. We were looking for this or looking for that, or sometimes looking in all the wrong places for what we thought was this and what we thought was this. And I think what's kind of really been the vocal point of the last year is, we did interviews, and it was fun because there was still a lot of people sitting at home. There was so many interesting stories out there of people who started businesses or left one thing to focus on another thing, or tried something different in life and ended up over here in life. And so the whole show has really been this kind of growth trajectory. It's been this, well, where did we start and where are we ending?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because even if you were to think about it in like life, even if you were not religious, right? And you were like, well, when I die, I become a tree.
Right.
And then I grow. And then I give someone shade. So it's like,
it's a beautiful thought.
So the end isn't the end ever, right? We're shifting our priorities. And by shifting priorities, you also tend to lend yourself into energy going to what it needs to go to.
Absolutely.
So by ending the show, we're putting our energy into things that our energy needs to be at. And so then it gives our listeners time. They don't have to, again, this is a very, not like, oh, now we are giving time back, but we're not going to be giving the quality that we can in the upcoming year because you're going to be traveling, I'm going to be traveling, and it's just a fairness thing at that point too. So it's kind of cool to look back and be like, wow, we did start here, and then the growth that we've, I learned so much about computers, more than I probably ever wanted to.
Also true.
But I think the social media aspect it was really lended me like this really cool card to be like, I understand at least how to put stuff out there. And it was a really good platform to learn how to put stuff out there and how to put myself out there and have people say things or have people reach out and say things that I didn't like and then just rub it off. Be like, well, oh well. Too bad.
Yeah.
And
it is what it is.
I'm going to need some really thick skin coming up soon because there's going to be people that don't like the book or don't like me or just flat out are not my fans.
100%. 100%.
And the Backyards and Bevvies show was a good start to understanding people in a way too, because I got to also interview so many different people.
Yeah.
There was so many different backgrounds and so many different ethnicities and so many different ideologies and so points of view. And it was just really cool because yes, we talked a lot the last year and you and me, well, everyone went back to work. It was just getting hard to get people to come and do interviews for fun too. A lot of people were doing it because it was fun. It wasn't,
absolutely.
Most people weren't promoting anything. There wasn't like a,
it was just
like a knowledge. It was like a knowledge based thing. Yeah. Like, what is your knowledge versus what is my knowledge? And let's just kind of mend them together and see if we can give our audience something cool. And then towards the end, it was you and me just talking and, like you said, having a cool conversation most days. And I think we do that 90% of the time. Like today, I've been in a grumpy mood. I don't know why. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Happens.
And so we haven't been as talkative as we normally are in the car. But normally we talk in the car and then we talk over breakfast and then we talk before we go to bed, and then I'll say something, and then you'll say like I'm crazy. That's not the way it goes, and I'll try to explain myself for 4 hours, and then finally we'll like have dinner. But the show really, I think, brought out a lot of other deeper places where you were able to counter something that I would say or add to exactly what I would say, and we've always received decent feedback from most people that were like, yeah, like I totally see that point of view, or that was really cool. I never thought about it that way. And I don't think we thought about it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's the coolest thing about, I think, talking through stuff with someone is that you
have little epiphanies about things.
Well, yeah. And you allow you allow that wandering effect, right? Like looking into the forest and just looking at a line of trees, and you never go in, well, then you're just like, well, there's 7 trees in there because that's all I can see. Yeah. But then you take a step in and you're like, oh, well, I didn't know that this plant existed in here. And I didn't know that this little
animal or whatever.
Oh, look at this. Yeah. Like you start to really see the beauty inside of people too. When you go down these roads of just talking.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain, like, I think that's one of the coolest things about podcasting that I've, not only as a listener to other podcasts, but as a podcaster for a few years, was that effect that the swaying of the conversation, because it's never just one straight line,
right?
Like you start out at one point, and then slowly you move over here to this point, and then you kind of go back across the line where you started, and you're always kind of jumping back and forth, and then sometimes you're in like left field.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a Joe Rogan podcast is super like,
all over the place, very much so.
But in those little moments, though, that's where those nuggets of like, or whoa, or like become really cool. And so over this last couple of years with you, things that you said to me, I'm like, I would have sometimes never saw you saying that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay, like I see that perspective now. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's really helped me. I think one of the big things that's really helped me do is open my eyes as like having a bigger heart than I really thought I did. Or even having more patience than I thought. Like, oh, that's grown. It's still
your
low.
Compassion and your patience have grown. It's not low. I would say you're at least in the medium now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But like, what do you think? Like, how has this impacted you?
I mean, like I said just a couple minutes ago, it's definitely, I've learned a whole lot just from listening to you talking with like the other guests and things like that, and have learned a lot about you and about both of us. And when we did our specials, like where we each had 4 episodes where we talked about our journeys, I learned so much about you and was reminded about things that like you had gone through and that you had done in your life, which was really cool. And then when I did my episodes, it reminded me of things I hadn't thought of in a long time. And then like when my parents listened to it, they were like, oh yeah, and remember that this also happened, and things that like I had completely forgotten about that were actual, like probably big milestones. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I didn't think of those as being as important as maybe they were to people around me.
Definitely.
So it's like you said with seeing other people's perspectives and stuff like that. I think that's definitely always really helpful. And, you saying that like you've grown in like your patience and compassion and stuff like that. Like I'm a very patient and compassionate person, but I've learned a lot from you in talking with you about how to be better in other areas in my life, like being stronger and standing up for myself and, things like that. So I think it's been a lot of good give and take between the two of us throughout the episodes.
Yeah, it really has been. Like, I can see that side of you too coming on more. You definitely have a more, and aggressive isn't the word, but like you have definitely a more assertive manner about the way that you hold yourself. Like and I think it's awesome. I think that it's like watching Modern Family. I talk about this all the time.
I love that show so much.
You watch it and I think a lot of sitcoms are set up this way to where you view it and you become you are a chance at each character. Yeah. Right? Like Scrubs is very similar to that. Another big one is like How I Met Your Mother.
I was literally going to say that. Yeah.
Everybody's been one of those characters at a different point.
Right. Or at least had some of their characteristics.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's a really cool way with like as a writer looking into a show writer or like these writers writing these things is that they really are creative that way, because the emotion behind those shows are falling into those characters and saying, oh, I've been there. Right. And what's cool is like I now feel like I understand your character, because like, right, we're all characters in this giant world. None of us are
play that is life. Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is a giant, at times it seems like you're living in a movie, right? And then sometimes it seems like you're living in a nightmare, and sometimes you're in a comedy and a romance some days, like not every day can be a rom-com. Right. But it's like, well, today I want to sit down and watch a rom-com. Or and some people go through horrific things. So then that's your nightmare that day. And so looking at how show writers work, looking at those modern families and stuff like that, this is that. Like, people fall into these characters. They listen to our voices, or we listen to each other's voices, or we listen to our guest voices, and we're like, wow, like, you can empathize, or you can be there, you can be in the moment with them a little bit more than just sharing a beer in your backyard, just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're kind of like locked in. You have these headphones on.
Yep.
You're isolated from a lot of the noise around you, and you're just in this zone talking. And it's like kind of being in a play or a movie, because you start to listen to their story and you start to envision. And I've told you this before, like when I write, there's certain places where you take someone, but then you let their imagination take the rest of the course, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy walked
into the door.
You have to leave
something left.
Yeah, like I don't want to tell you exactly what the door looks like, because I want you to paint the picture of your door, right?
Leave something to the imagination.
Exactly. Walked into a room. You can say dark room, and then all of a sudden people have different visions of what a dark room is.
Right.
So I think that to me has been really cool, is like watching your growth, because I can feel like when we do talk about something, I've heard you shift a little, like, or your subject will like be more, you'll be deeper into the subject than you were the first time we chatted about it, or some stuff like that. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It has definitely been a fun road to go down.
It definitely has.
And I'll say this, it's not hard, but there definitely, I think, takes a moment to feel comfortable talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I like to talk, and even then I was like, okay, holy shit, how do I just talk?
You like put pressure on yourself, like, oh, I'm talking into this microphone, and this is going to go out into the world, and I'm being recorded, so every single thing I say is going to live forever in this space.
And if you exaggerate too much, and you're like too amped up, and every word is this and that, and it almost sounds fake. So
right.
Like, you just want to have a conversation.
Got to be yourself.
Yeah, and authenticity in, I think, the podcast world is, for one, it's like saturated. There's so many podcasts out there.
So many now.
Well, everybody has one, because it's a great marketing tool. You build your fan base, and then your fan base listens to you, and then so to me, that's where the shift happens. It's not that I reinvent what I'm doing, but if people want to hear my journey through writing, I think that's a cool podcast. Hearing me just talk about my journey might not be what people want to hear, especially in a writing perspective. Because to me, as much as I love my roadie side, the writing journey that I've gone through is just as hard or harder in a way. Different hard, right?
Yeah.
But writing isn't easy. And then being creative or putting your stuff out there, and then watching someone break it down or edit it or tell you that this needs to change. It's like you're like kind of calling your baby ugly.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're like, hold on, like, wait, I love that baby though. Yep. I wanted that sentence in there. But then you have to like go back and be like, oh yeah, that's an ugly shirt on my kid.
Yeah,
maybe
they need a different outfit.
Maybe I won't put that shirt on.
Kid's still the same, just needs a different outfit.
Exactly. And so I think that, to me, though this has been very educational, very fun, I think talking about my writing journey in the future will be just as much fun, or funner.
More fun. Funner. Ignore that part. He is a good writer.
I know. I'm playing. It's a joke. Just trying to throw some comedy into this thing.
Funny.
But yeah, so I don't know. Again, it's shifting. It's adapting. It's looking at the environment around us change. And, the environment around us is about to change dramatically, because for the last 2 years, we've just been editing and writing. Yeah. Now we're in the process we're at that 50% mark where all of a sudden we're going to have a giant shift, because we just hit it. We turned in the book. Yep. It's there. It is
headed to print.
It is going to print. There is nothing we can do to change it.
Can't change it anymore.
So we are, when we hit December 1st, that is the 50% mark.
Yep.
Because the book will be out, and then it's all a different ball game.
Yep. All the promotion.
And whatever that ball game is, I have no idea. We don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Sometimes I turned to you the other day, you were saying something and I was like, I don't know. I've never been in this position before. I've never been down this road. This is completely new.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is we do have that team behind us, and they've been in the position before, and they've been helping us, and they've been growing us, and they've been helping to guide us as much as they possibly can. So as we are shifting over the next few weeks, we'll be thinking about this. I'll be like, oh, we got to record, but then, because you're like stuck in
you're in the habit. Yeah. And they're like, oh, actually, no, we don't. Let's go work on the book. And
that will be it. Those will be those shifts, because it'll be like, okay, well, the time that you were doing that, or in the morning when I was doing those posts, now I'm going to be shifting my attention over to my writing one, because that Instagram now has to get the attention, and that Instagram has to grow, and that Instagram has to give that audience something better every day.
Yeah.
And as much as I love doing the quotes in the morning and trying to give positivity, I think I'll just have to shift those to the other side and give the readers and listeners over there something just as nice.
Absolutely.
What? I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
But I know on Wednesdays we're going to be doing Wyatt Wednesdays.
Yep, Wyatt Wednesdays, where you'll get a sneak peek into the main character and their role in the book.
Yeah. And I think things like that are really cool, because I'm going to have to go in, and though I've read the book 17, 20 times now, I want to give the audience now stuff that's like those substance grabbing moments, but you don't want to give away too much either. You want a little attention, and then you want them to be like, well, okay, like
what next?
Yeah, like what happens next? And so by introducing Wyatt to the world, it's going to be fun for me, because I'm going to get to dive into the book even deeper.
Yeah.
And that's one thing to me that's been interesting about reading my own work, is like the other day when we had to go through and do our final edit, like sometimes I was like, wow, I wrote that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa, like that is a very clever little piece of writing. And thanks to obviously editors helping put commas where they belong.
Yes. It made sense.
And periods and exclamation points and quotes and all that stuff. It really brought some of those thoughts and sentences to life.
Yeah.
That I don't think that were there. They were there. They just needed that cleanup, the extra touch.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Made it a little bit prettier.
Sometimes it's ugly in there.
Sometimes.
I'll say this: the book is it has brought me to tears, because some of the parts that I wrote are very touching emotionally to myself, because some of the things that I've definitely feel like I've experienced in a way.
Yeah.
But then at the other side, I wrote in there, an emotion into someone who is in me.
Yeah.
Like Wyatt is a character inside of me that I created.
Yes.
That I was gifted, I should say.
Yes.
But she is still my character. And so it's funny when I read stuff, I'm like, I have to be her in a way.
Yeah.
But then at times I'm reading it now from an outside perspective too. And it's like, whoa. Who is this Wyatt character?
Yeah.
She's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of cool. Like, all right. So we'll see where it goes. And I think that over the next couple of weeks, it'll be fun, because not only do I have to pay attention to the book, but now we have to fulfill all the Kickstarter stuff.
Yes, we do.
So that was another thought process into this, is, so many people supported the Kickstarter and truly showed love inside of all this stuff. And so we want to give the backers, we want to give them the same love that they showed us by like giving them a product. And so we've been ordering some stuff that, will help package and create an experience for them when they open their book for the first time too. Yes. So yeah, but it's been
Archie's going to miss all of you.
Yeah. Our cat is
nuzzling the microphone.
Yeah,
he's saying goodbye to everybody because he's been a part of pretty much every episode.
Not outside.
Every episode inside.
Yeah, every episode inside he's made an appearance.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, we're definitely going to miss everybody. Please stay in touch and make sure that you go follow Philip's writing page on Instagram, which is at Philip J. Kriz, PhilipJKriz. And you can also follow the Roadie Cartel at TheRoadieCartel. And keep in touch with us on there.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. I'll be slowly, and I'm on the TikTok.
Yeah. On all the socials.
Yeah, I'm on all the socials. But, I really do. Instagram to me has always been my favorite. So I think I really have my core. I
would say, the core following is on Instagram right now.
My core attention is usually Instagram because I'm just, to me, it's I find the most enjoyment out of it because it's photo based, it's video based, it's
got all the things.
It has so many different, it has all the fun toys that I like as opposed, like TikTok, sure has a million filters and all those things, but I don't know. I tried it for a little while, if you remember.
Oh, I remember we did dances in the snow.
Those are bad.
They were bad, but we had fun.
But they were fun. Yes, they were. So, anyways.
Well,
I think that it's only fit that we poured ourselves a little tequila.
Yep.
And I think it's only fair and fit and amazing and wonderful and to sign off with a shot of tequila.
Absolutely. One last cheers and bottoms up.
One last cheers and bottoms up. It was, it was crazy. I did pull up some stats. We had over 180,000 views on YouTube.
Wow.
And over 39,500 downloads.
That's amazing.
On the
all the different platforms.
All the different platforms.
Thank you guys so much for listening and participating and supporting us. It's been an awesome journy. And we look forward to the next journey.
It has been definitely one of the most amazing experiences I've ever gone and done because I wrote this as a post the other day, for years I thought that a way that a relationship worked was I build and then someone else builds and then we just kind of meet in the middle and somehow go down this road of life and it works out. And I'm sure it does for some people. I'm sure that there's many people out there that happens, but I kind of looked around and what's crazy is the majority of people that build together, whether it be family or whether it be a business, I always tend to see a little more happiness inside there. Maybe that's just me because my eyes are a little glossy because that's what we're doing and it's fun and it's exciting and it's full of love but I don't know. It's very interesting to me because the second we started building together, I felt like our relationship went to a different high. I don't know if you...
Building together, you mean like through the book?
Everything.
Yeah.
Just me leaving the road.
Absolutely.
We weren't just like...
Well, we were spending a whole lot more time together with true focus on each other.
But that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't building over here and you were building over here and we were just trying to make it work in the middle.
Yeah, we were 100%
building together.
All in together, yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at is that those moments now are shared moments as opposed to me telling you a story about being on the road and how cool it was. And you're like...
I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool. But I can't participate in any of these things with you.
Glad you like Japan. Sounds amazing that the chicken nuggets were awesome. Or a photo that you just got to experience. Or you telling me about a show that you were doing.
Well, we now get to actively participate together versus one of us actively participating and the other one passively listening.
Which is, to me, to our relationship, strictly, it has been the key to our success.
Absolutely.
And so Backyards and Bevvies was one of the first true experiences of building something together, because you helped me promote it, you helped me build it, you helped me do all the things and sign all the papers and read all the things. And so, yeah, like looking at it, it's like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. That's why this is successful. And so as we move forward with the book, I only see it each day that we do something with the book together. It's really cool because it is together. Though I write alone.
Right. The rest of it we do together.
But I still bring you in. I'm like, oh, check out this paragraph I wrote. I really like this. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, that is cool. Or sometimes you've been like, you got to tweak this a little bit more. I kind of get where you're going, but
make it a little more clear.
Deeper. Less periods.
Exclamation points.
Exclamation. My favorite. I do like exclamation points.
You do.
My whole life is a big exclamation point.
It is.
All right.
I like it that way.
Well, yeah, I'll, this isn't goodbye. Like we just said, go follow me elsewhere.
Come see us on our other pages.
Austin, November.
Yes. November 11, 12, 13, Austin Book Convention. Come say hello.
Come out, enjoy. December 1st, the book comes out.
Yes.
It'll be definitely online first.
It'll be on Amazon for sure.
And on the Kindles and on the...
all e-readers.
All e-readers. And then I think not Simon Schuster, the printing...
Ingram.
Yep. Ingram will be another place to buy it. I believe it'll be across a few platforms to buy it, but Amazon will definitely probably be the biggest and most widely known and easiest place to purchase your paperback book. And so, with that being said, cheers. And bottoms up. Gotta love tequila.
Yum.
Well, again, thank you. Love you all. And this is PK signing off.
And BK signing off.
Later.
Bye.